Hi there. I just wanted to talk to you real quick today. I was reading in my morning devotional this morning, Acts, and in chapter 1, there's one verse that jumped out at me, and I just keep thinking about it. It's this moment that happened, and you can read it in Acts chapter 1, verse 11. Jesus had literally just ascended, literally lifted off the ground and taken into the clouds, and the disciples are standing there. Their necks are probably craned back and they're stunned. Their mouths are probably hanging open. I mean, just think about it. Jesus literally levitates into the heavens, swallowed by the clouds of glory, and the disciples are standing there slack-jawed. Anybody would be. You would be. But then the two that appeared in the sky, they say, "Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into the sky?" And there's a part of me here that wants to laugh because it's just so funny. Of course they're staring in the sky. They just watched Jesus go up there. If someone you love suddenly rises into heaven, you don't just shrug your shoulders and walk away. But the angels that were giving that message, they weren't correcting the disciples' moment of awe. They were trying to give them redirection. They were saying something far greater than just stop looking. They were saying the glory lifted, but your assignment didn't. He told you where to be next, and it isn't here. That's really what was being said. He didn't tell them to follow him upward. He told them to go back to Jerusalem, back to the place of waiting and praying and obeying, because the next chapter of his work would not come from looking up, but from the power coming down. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And we can take to heart that we won't find Jesus just by staring into the sky. You find him by obeying the last instruction he gave. The disciples weren't wrong for looking. They weren't wrong to look. They were wrong to linger. See, revelation doesn't come from just freezing in the moment of wonder. Revelation comes from walking into the place where he told you to wait. See, most believers are still standing symbolically on the Mount of Olives. They're spiritually frozen, they're emotionally nostalgic, and they may just be staring at where they last felt him, that moment. They may be clinging to those old feelings of goosebumps, the old moves of the Spirit, the old songs that stirred something in them, the old fires that they felt in years past. And they want revival, but they want it in the exact shape of the last one. And unfortunately, that's not how God works. See, in Acts chapter 1, Jesus ascended, but the Spirit was about to descend. If they had stayed staring at where Jesus used to be, they would have missed what was about to happen next. So I think what I want to say here is that in a lot of places we have a modern church full of sky gazers, people who love spectacle, people who chase the next sign, the next emotion, the next influencer or preacher, the next live streamed moment of spiritual hype. But they don't obey. They don't wait. They don't tarry. They don't kneel in the upper room until the power clothes them. They want the glory of Acts chapter 2, but without the obedience of Acts chapter 1. The thing you need to understand is there is no Pentecost without obedience. There's no fire without waiting. There's no power without surrender. And there's no dunamis without dying to convenience. Pentecost was not given to the people that were just curious. It was given to those that were obedient. See, the angel's rebuke is still the rebuke of the Spirit today. Why are you looking there when I told you to be here? Looking for Jesus in the wrong places is one of the great tragedies of the modern church. People looking upward emotionally, chasing a feeling, looking outwardly socially, looking for people's approval, or looking backward nostalgically, chasing what he did last season. But Jesus said, wait in Jerusalem until you are clothed with power, meaning stop chasing spectacle, stop chasing nostalgia, stop chasing movements that you weren't called to mimic. Return to obedience, return to surrender, return to the upper room. See, people pray for fire while ignoring the last instruction God gave them. I think a lot of times people want the mantle without the waiting. They want the authority without the altar, and they want the fire without the furnace. But see, Acts chapter 1 is the furnace, that obedience, that waiting. And here's the prophetic core of it all. Some believers are so busy staring at where Jesus was that they're missing where Jesus is. See, they want the cloud that he disappeared into, but not the fire he's about to send. They want that moment of awe, but not that mantle of assignment. They want the ascension, but not the empowerment. They want to marvel, but not move. The Spirit is calling the church back to the same posture that he required of the disciples in Acts chapter 1. Stop standing still, stop staring upward, walk where I told you to walk, wait until you burn, and then turn the world upside down. We have to stop looking for Jesus in nostalgia. Stop looking for him where he used to meet you. Stop looking for him in the sky while ignoring the Spirit today that's already pounding on the door of the church. If you want the power he promised, you have to stand where he told you to stand. You have to stay where he told you to stay, and you have to wait for what he told you to wait for. So we don't need more sky gazers. We don't need more people that are holding on to what just happened. We need more upper room dwellers that are waiting for what's about to happen. We don't need people frozen in the last place they felt in. We need people that are surrendered to the next place he's leading them into. And see, that's the heartbeat of Acts chapter 1. And it's the word for the church today. The final word I want to say today is the church that only gazes will never blaze. Because the ones who stop staring and start obeying, those are the ones who carry the power of Pentecost. So that's my encouragement for you today. Thank you.